At 10, first it was pink slime, now this. Some restaurants are gluing steaks together instead of serving you what you think you're paying for. Tonight, we're showing you exactly how it's done. ABC 15's Adam Slinger shows us the difference between the real steak and the glued stuff.
And he explores what's probably your number one concern, the possible health risks.
Look closely. Think you can tell which one of these is not a real center cut filet? Truth is, one of these is actually just smaller pieces from the same cut glued together. I'll tell you which one, but not just yet.
I think it's quite disgusting.
Devin Walsh is the owner and executive chef at Calistro California Bistro in Scottsdale. He says his restaurant will never dish out glued meat, ever.
These are our center cut fillets.
But if we supplied the glue, this one time, he agreed to show us how it's used.
It infuses proteins together. So what that allows you to do is take some not so good looking cuts of meat, glue it together, and all of a sudden it looks like a center cut fillet.
The FDA says meat glue is generally recognized as safe, and its real name is transglutaminase.
Yeah, it's sticking to my fingers.
It looks like sugar, it's totally edible, and it's totally legal to use.
The scary thing is that when it sets and you cut into this thing, you won't be able to see the seam.
Devin doesn't think the average eater would be able to taste the difference.
Because you're packing it in, it's a lot denser.
Aside from asking the chef, there is another way you could find out if your steak is not the real deal, but it's not pretty.
You have the potential to get very, very sick.
The USDA says that all beef should be cooked to an internal temperature of 145 degrees. But a lot of gourmet chefs don't do that if they're cooking it rare or even medium rare. And if glued meat isn't cooked all the way through, that can be a problem.
Those surfaces are not getting cooked to 140 degrees. The bacteria is still there, and the guest is consuming that can get very, very ill.
There is an obvious reason some restaurants or caterers might use it. Using the scraps from the same steak saves cash.
In high volume situations or, something like that, I could see it being used quite heavily. It's a way to increase your bottom line, so to speak.
You probably can't taste the difference, but maybe you can spot it. The one on the left is the one with the meat glue.
If you're trying to be sneaky, misleading, or whatever, you have no right to be in business, in my opinion.
In Scottsdale, Adam Slinger, ABC 15 News.
Wow, never even heard of this stuff. The American Meat Institute, by the way, says meat glue is generally used to control portion sizes. It's been around for 2 decades. It's also used in seafood, dairy, and baked goods. You don't have to worry about confusion at the grocery store. That's good news. The label and package would have to clearly state that the meat has been reformed.
And in fact, if you want to know if it's being used at the restaurant you're eating at, ask, because workers are obligated to tell you the truth.